So hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on which part of the world you're joining us. So thank you for joining this webinar on Mast Climbing Work Platform. The topic of today is why mast climbers are the best access system for facade work. My name is Romina Vanzi. I'm head of regional development and mast climbers, and I work in Ipaf since 16 years, and I come exactly from the sector of a mast climbing work platform. So I will try to present to you a little bit the background of Ipaf and the involvement of Ipaf in mast climbing work platform sector, giving you some numbers, quick ones and very straightforward. So 1995, so what is 1995? This is when Ipaf got involved in the mast climbing work platform sector. This happened in the UK around 12 years after Ipaf was founded. We had in the UK, there was some serious accidents. So the stakeholders of that time decided to get involved with Ipaf to have like an umbrella federation to deal with these issues for safety issues. And together they made the work groups, and one of the work group worked with the British Standard Institute to develop a code of practice for the installation, the maintenance, the thorough examination, and safe use of mast climbing work platform. At the same time, also the training program for the use of mast climbers was developed with the use of with the help, of some of our members. And so this is when we really got involved as a federation with our members in the mast climbing work platform industry. Nowadays, we are talking about 100 members within the family of members of Ipaf that we have worldwide. There are 1,600, but 100 are mainly dedicated to mast climber and hoist. We have 25 of those that are dedicated also to training. So 25 members, they are also Ipaf Training Center for mast climber and hoist, issuing around the world 2,400 PAL cards. PAL cards for operators, demonstrators, but also installers, instructors, or training. In 2017 is when Ipaf decided, after the request of our members, to get involved also with hoist, because at the beginning we were dealing only with mast climbers, but also hoist was like a natural decision of getting involved, because of the manufacturers and the rental companies that deal with mast climbers, they also deal with hoist. And so we developed that training with the help of Agnès Llibre, our mast climbing and related product representative. And so that course, that program was very successful since then. And 3 is the number of the dedicated committees and work groups that Ipaf has for mast climber and hoist. And these are the International Committee. Then we have the UK and Ireland Work Group, and recently created the Technical and Safety Work Group that we created after the HSE Safety Alert in the UK. We found the need of creating a specific committee work group dedicated to technical and safety issues. Well, but without any further ado, let's go to the today webinar speaker presentation. So today we have Ángel Ibanez with us, and he will give us an update on the HSE Safety Alert that was issued by the UK Health and Safety Executive earlier this year. And so we are looking at as well at the European regulation EN 1495 concerning safety devices. Then we will have a presentation from Agnès Llibre, expert manager at AIDE, and she will explore how the different types of overspeed safe device work and the safety control system. And then we will have probably someone who most of you know is Kevin O'Shea. He's a veteran in our sector, and he will it will show the advantages of using mast climbers compared to other system of facade access. So before I hand over to Angel, who is our first speaker, I hand over to our staff in the background, in the backstage, for running a video of our sponsor, our first sponsor, Alimak. So please go ahead with the Alimak video. Thank you very much to Alimak and to members or sponsors. Alimak has always been supporting us in also the help of developing our training programs. So really, thank you very much. So now we go on our first speaker, and is Angel Ibanez. And over to you, Angel, to share your screen and your presentation.
Thank you very much, Romina. Hello, everyone. My name is Angel Ibanez, and I am the Ipaf global representative for Mast Climbing Work Platforms and related products. Before starting my presentation, I would like to pay a small tribute to our dear friend Cliff Goring, who sadly passed away on the 22nd of September. Cliff spent 22 years in the Royal Navy and then 20 years working for Alimak. He was a senior Ipaf instructor and a gap assessor, an active member of several Ipaf work groups, and contributed to raising the standards through the Mast Climbing Work Platform and construction hoist industry. Always willing to help and share his knowledge and experience, he was highly respected by all of his colleagues, industry bodies, and those he touched across our industry. He will be greatly missed. All I can say is thank you, Cliff. And it's our responsibility to continue his legacy and try to make this industry safer. And that's one of the reasons why today I'm going to talk about the UK Health and Safety Executive Mast Climbing Work Platform Safety Alert and provide an interpretation of the safety elements of the Mast Climbing Work Platform European standard EN 1495 mentioned in this safety alert. But first of all, let's provide a quick background of what happened prior to the HSE Safety Alert. For those of you joining from different countries, I know there's people from all over the world joining this webinar. Some of you may sound strange that we pay so much attention to this HSE Safety Alert, because it's kind of sounds like kind of local issue affecting only the UK, but actually it's not. And it's an issue that is affecting our industry as a whole. And we'll talk about that today. The background before this safety alert was released is that there was a significant number of incidents and accidents with MCWPs in a very short period of time. And on January last year, there was a big incident in the UK affecting a Mast Climbing Work Platform where 3 workers were injured. On March there was an accident in Spain where 2 workers were killed. And right 2 months later, a very similar accident in Liverpool where 2 workers were killed. And many other minor incidents reported in the UK, in Spain, in Italy. And in all the cases, they have a very similar a root cause, and the problem was that the MCWPs were falling from height due to mechanical faults in the drive units. And when a fault drive unit causes a fall from height in a twin mast configuration, in most of the cases, the machine can maintain certain integrity and stability, thanks to the fact that one of the drive units may prevent the other one from falling. As you can see in this picture. Of course, this is an extremely dangerous situation, but in many cases, the occupants at least can save their lives. But when a fault drive unit causes a fall from height in a single mast configuration, the machine falls to the ground at high speed. And this is what happened in all those accidents I mentioned before. So on May 3, 2022, the UK Health and Safety Executive released this safety alert. And the main reasons for the safety alert were that some machines were not able to detect mechanical failure in drive units, leading to uncontrolled fall. Another important reason was that platforms could fall from height when mechanical faults in the drive units go undetected. And if this is not rectified quickly, the fall could cause serious injury or even death. And the safety alert called for immediate action to check that the necessary control measures are in place for all mast climbers in use, ensuring 2 different things. One is that there is means to identify a loss of mechanical integrity in each drive unit, where this is the system to prevent falling from overspeed. And second, each individual drive unit is fitted with a mechanical device to prevent the machine descending at excessive overspeed. So what is very important here is that HSE found that on some platforms, only one drive unit is fitted with centrifugal brake, and they were also making a reference to the European standard for MCWP's EN 1494. And on this regard, the details in the EN 1495 related to this HSE safety alert are those explaining that all MCWPs must have a device or means which prevents the work platform from falling in the event of a failure. And the chapter 5.5 of this standard says that this can be done in 2 different ways. One, explain all the details in the chapter 5.5.2 is using independent safety gear. And a different way is explaining the chapter 5.5.3, saying that 2 gear motors in each drive unit can be used with a centrifugal brake and electrical safety system. So what implications does this safety alert have? Well, the main concern is that the HSE was calling to action to solve these issues detected in the market. So when the UK HSE alert was issued, it was initially a very significant shock for the industry to deal with. Many construction projects were threatened with delays, uncertainty, and particularly as rental companies in the UK own fleets consisting mostly of the types of equipment referred to by the safety alert. So we can say that this had a very big impact among the rental companies in the UK. Quite a few machines had to be taken out of service immediately. But this also had an impact in other regions, even not as big as in the UK, but there was an increasing concern in other regions, like in North America, some parts of Europe, or even in the Middle East, as many users and rental companies were asking what was the root cause of this safety alert in the UK. So some manufacturers and rental companies were affected more than others, depending on which designs of MCWP equipment they make or hire out. So we all knew that if not addressed quickly and effectively, this could have a very negative impact in the market, not only in the UK, but worldwide. And this could even have legal implications for rental companies and for manufacturers. So once the safety alert was released on the 3rd of May, Ipaf moved quickly to help reassure end users and the HSE that all machines deemed unsafe would be stood down while trying to coordinate a robust response from a safety and technical perspective. And since the release, Ipaf has worked closely with members as they try to resolve all technical issues. And in the past few months, we have provided a link between our members and the UK HSE to clarify some aspects of the safety alert and to relay information back to the HSE about how some of our members are implementing measures to comply with the alert. So right 1 week after the safety alert was released, we held a physical meeting in the UK with UK and Ireland rental members and contractors. 1 week after that, we held an online meeting with global manufacturers from different countries. We held a joint online meeting with HSE to clarify some doubts about the safety alert. And we created the Ipaf MCWP Safety and Technical Work Group to address all these problems. And we held the first meeting of this newly created work group in mid-June and the next one mid-July. So we also focused on what could be done with the standards and regulations to update them if so required to cover also the aspects reflected in this safety alert. And since July, Ipaf is represented in the MHE 12.8 committee to review the British Standard Code of Practice for Mast Climbing Work Platforms. And we are in continuous contact with the HSE and with the main industry stakeholders. Manufacturers, hire companies, and contractors attended several meetings organized by Ipaf, in which it was decided that the industry needed to measure the likely impact of the safety alert, as well as to ensure awareness of the issues raised across the whole sector worldwide. So at this moment, we continue to offer a coordinated support to manufacturers, rental companies, and users to ensure that all ongoing use of the equipment is safe and fully complies with the technical and safety requirements outlined in the safety alert. Because the main target we have is to reestablish the full confidence in the safety and efficiency of mast climbing work platforms. And what is the current situation? We have to say that both rental companies and manufacturers have made a massive effort to address this situation. The safety alert has not affected all companies equally, and some companies still have to make changes to some machines in their fleets. But overall, we are really pleased to say that from a position earlier this year, when a significant part of the UK MCWP fleet was grounded, the fleet is now back almost at full capacity. Ipaf put a formal request to CEN for a new work item proposal to update the European standard EN 4095. And we are also represented in the committee reviewing the British standard 7981. So Ipaf believes this means the industry is now even safer than it was prior to this alert being issued. And this is testament to the rapid response to the alert and the collective effort of all those involved in finding solutions. And what can we expect from now on? We can say that the vast majority of companies have shown a very high level of commitment to safety. Those few who have not risen to the occasion will be left out of the market, which at the end of the day is going to be very positive for our industry. It means that we can say that after all this, the industry will be even safer. And we can say that MCWPs remain the safest and most efficient access method for facade work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Angel. It's a very comprehensive summary of what happened in the last 6 months that kept us very busy. We kept busy, manufacturers were busy, and also rental companies. So, but as you say, probably this was reason why a good impulse to the industry and a good impulse to improve safety. So all good. All right, so I will leave the stage now to another video of our sponsor, Mabber, another company that is always supporting us in all our activities. So over to the Mabber video, please. Thank you, Maber, or Maber, as it would be pronounced in English, but since it is Italian, it is pronounced Maber. Now I will hand over to Agnès Llibre, not an easy name to pronounce, from the company EIDE, who will speak about overspeed devices. So over to you. Did you share your screen?
Yes. Super. So thank you, Romina, and good afternoon, everyone. So I am Agnès Llibre. I'm the expert manager at EIDE. We are manufacturers of safety brakes, and I am going to explain the different types of overspeed devices and how they work. So as Angel explained it before, the standard EN 1495 specifies that there are two options to prevent the free fall of the work platform: an independent safety gear, or two or more independent and identical drive units fitted to each mast, and each must be able to carry the work platform in the worst case scenario, and automatically prevent the work platform exceeding 0.4 meters per second descent speed. So mainly there are two types of overspeed safety devices: the parachute brake and the centrifugal brake. The parachute brake is a mechanical brake that only engages when the descent speed is greater than a previously determined value. The blocking occurs in a cushioned way, leaving the platform immobilized when it has been braked. The centrifugal brake is a mechanical brake that only brakes when the motor speed is greater than the nominal, and it controls the descent speed without stopping the platform. So going deeper, the parachute brake is a mechanical unit intended to prevent the accidental fall in rack and pinion lifting mechanism. By the action of centrifugal force, the safety device locks the pinion against the structure, the platform, and the interlocking occurs gradually, leaving the platform completely stopped. At EIDE, we set the safety brake to engage between 30 and 50% above the nominal speed. And our safety brake has an easy release after any locking by raising the elevator some centimeters, let's say about 20 centimeters. The centrifugal brake is a mechanical unit intended to prevent the uncontrolled fall in rack and pinion lifting mechanism. The system starts braking when the speed exceeds nominal speed motor. The speed increases until the braking force equals the load force. And the centrifugal brake acts between 10 and 20% above the nominal speed. So the maximum safety ideally would be achieved by mounting a parachute and a centrifugal brake in the same elevator. But centrifugal brake starts braking before parachute brake, and it does not allow to perform drop test of the parachute. So the solution would be to remove centrifugal brake each time it is necessary to perform a drop test, or to use an unlockable centrifugal brake. The unlockable centrifugal brake is the same as the centrifugal brake, but with the main feature that it has a puller, so it can be disabled at will. So it allows to test parachute and centrifugal brake without the need to disassemble any brake from the elevator. And how to assemble these devices? The parachute brake is assembled directly to the rack with an independent pinion. And both the centrifugal and unlockable centrifugal brake are assembled between each motor and gearbox. So calibration and test. Each parachute brake is regulated according to the load and speed of each elevator. And centrifugal brakes are for standard 4-pole motors. We here at ADE, we have a test bench to simulate any elevator to test both brakes, centrifugal and parachute brake. To test parachute brakes, we perform 4 different tests, increasing the weight to check that tripping speed and torque is correct and accelerations are acceptable to accomplish the standard. And to check centrifugal brakes, we test the starting speed and torque at the defined speed. So related to maintenance, it's important to remark that each manufacturer has its own maintenance guidance. In our case at ADE, the parachute brakes, we offer 4 years warranty, and after this time, the brake has to be revised in our means, and an additional 4 years warranty are provided. And after this period, the brake must be replaced. The end user should perform eye checks and rack and pinion, ensuring cleaning and greasing. And every 6 months should make a drop test. Related to centrifugal brakes, they do not require any specific maintenance as long as they have not been activated. If they have been braked, it should be disassembled to check that there is no excessive wear on the brake pads. So thank you very much to everyone. I hope you find it interesting and useful.
Thank you very much. Here you can find the contact detail of ADE. So probably there are many technical people connected. I've seen from the list, and probably you have many questions. You can ask questions here. We will answer what we can. Otherwise, you can contact ADE direct, or we will answer questions offline by sending you an email. We have your contact details. Good, so thank you. And now we proceed with our last speaker, Kevin O'Shea. As I said, he's a veteran. I said veteran, not old in the industry, because he doesn't want to hear that. So very expert, and he is the chairman of the Mast Climbing Work Platform and Hoist International Committee. So Kevin, over to you. After an Italian speaking and the 2 Spanish, we have your Scottish accent. So we are delighted to have this language test today. So over to you, Kevin.
So the topic for today is why Mast Climbing Work Platforms are the best access system for facade work. And I think I'd like to start by going to, I think, a useful description. ANSI, the American National Standards Institute, 92.9, which is the standard for mast climbers in the US, I think sums it up. Mast climbers are primarily used to position personnel with their necessary tools and materials to perform their work. And I think it's important to state that, because Mast Climbing Work Platforms, and I have a photograph somewhere of the first one that I ever found, which was in 1959, an old black and white photograph. So the equipment has been around a long time. And I think it's probably a good idea just to state right off the bat that this equipment is designed specifically for facade work. The equipment has been designed and developed over the years for that exact function. So there are many advantages to the Mast Climbing Work Platform when it comes to facade work. One of the things that really makes a difference with a mast climber is the setup time and the footprint that it leaves at the ground level. First of all, if we take the example here of a 40-meter long by 75-meter high facade, it's possible to cover that with only 2 masts. It's also therefore possible to cover it with only 2 base or drive units. Next, we only require a certain number of tiebacks to the structure to achieve this coverage. And last, we, with 2 masts in this type of setup, are providing 3,000 square meters of coverage which can be ready for use within 4 or 5 working days, depending on the crew size. So this product is really very important for facade access and facade work. And as I said before, is specifically designed to provide productivity and safety and ease of use and workflow in this kind of facade work. There are varying configurations of this equipment which make it useful in various applications or work types. The standard one would be the single mast unit, which is one platform on a single mast. But we also have the ability to twin that product and provide a 2-mast unit. There is also potential to create multiple mast units, increasing the flexibility, increasing the coverage, increasing productivity. Additionally, we can create custom platform lengths with engineering input, where we may see machines that have determined or predetermined lengths or shapes and abilities, depending on the size and scale or shape of elevations. We can also mount 2 units on a single mast, which again will provide further flexibility and productivity. And also, we can provide inclined platforms. An example of this would have been about the construction of Terminal 5 at Heathrow Airport. There were inclined platforms used in the construction of that building. So huge flexibility from basically the same mast climber. Obviously, there are design aspects, safe use aspects. There are, depending on the configurations, there are obviously capacity issues that need to be adjusted, but all of that can be done with expertise and knowledge. Other possibilities in this unit, there are some units that will stand or freestand to a certain height where there is not the opportunity to tie into the structure. A big example of that, just for instance, in the American market, would be when they are building maybe a Walmart or a Target store, where these units, these constructed building units, don't really have any floor slabs. They have block walls, and so therefore the opportunity to tie in between 0 and 35 feet is not there. So there are freestanding units that are capable of providing that function. We also have the ability to put material hoists mounted on the platform to bring material up into the platform. Variable capacities are possible, specific to use. There are some units that, and I'll talk in pounds because I'm going to talk about an American machine, but some of the US machines are capable of lifting 20,000 pounds. So there are huge capacities available in certain units also. There are also various methods for tying to structures. And these units can be powered in various ways, typically electric or engine powered. But the possibilities on mast climbing work platforms seems endless. And it really just takes expertise and knowledge to apply the best type of configuration, the best type of capacity, the best type of product to the task at hand. There are other examples of how this product can be flexible. Here we have one mast on the corner of a building on the left-hand side photograph, providing access to 2 different elevations where there are control joints and construction coverage only on partial elevations. So we have one mast serving 2 elevations at this point. And the photograph on the right is a total enveloping mast climber coverage for the construction of a control tower at one of the airports in the US. And again, as you can see, the possibilities here are to provide 360-degree continuous coverage during the construction process. Other aspects of use, here on the left, we have historic refurbishment work, which again can be detailed, highly planned, but highly productive and cost effective. And on the right hand side, this would give us a photograph to show a typical heavy masonry installation. So this product is amazingly flexible. Now, what makes the Mast Climber popular for facade work? I think in order to do that, we need to look at the pros and the cons of the other methods of access. So let's look at scaffolding, let's look at booms and scissors, and let's look at Mast Climbing Work Platforms. Now, scaffolding has everything going for it when it comes to flexibility. Scaffolding, you can construct it in whatever shape you want. So it's an entirely flexible system for facade work. Also, it has amazing profiling ability, and also provides, through design, high capacity. Booms and scissors are less flexible than scaffold. They really can't profile. You're in a basket, so there's not much that you can do to change that. And compared to scaffolding, they can have a relatively low capacity. However, scaffolding has a long erecting time. Booms and scissors come to the job site rental ready. Scaffolding is only available at fixed levels. Booms or scissors can provide variable height capability at the touch of a button. Scaffolding will leave a pretty large footprint at the ground area. Booms and scissors will leave much less of a footprint for the associated elevation coverage. Now let's look at mast climbers. Mast climbers have the advantage of the scaffold's flexibility. We can be flexible in the way that we construct. Mast climbers have the profiling ability that scaffold has. And mast climbers can also provide the high capacity. Also, they can provide variable height capability at the touch of a button or a lever. And they leave a minimal footprint at the ground. So almost all the advantages of scaffolding and booms and scissors are present in the Mast Climbing Work Platform product. The only thing that Mast Climbers doesn't have as an advantage from the other two systems is that it doesn't come to the job site rental ready. That's where the key to realizing all the benefits of Mast Climbers for facade work is housed in planning, in knowledge, in expertise, and also critically training. Good planning, good knowledge, good expertise, and comprehensive training will unlock the absolute benefits of this product for facade work. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I think this overview that you gave is very comprehensive, and it's very convincing in the terms when we have to show really the advantage of mast climbers, because when we deal with booms and scissors, I mean, they are rented ready and say like, you don't hustle too much because you bring them ready there. But sometimes, I mean, the use of mast climbers is much more, there are more advantages. So this is Kevin was our last speaker today. We look see if we have some questions here. Some have been answered online while we were speaking. We have mainly one question regarding centrifugal brakes. It's more a statement. It's like there is no indicating system to show when the C brake has been used. Don't know if Agnès you have an answer to that. If you guys perhaps have a way of seeing if the centrifugal brake has been used, and if any other have any comment Kevin or Angel? First, Agnès?
Yes, yes. So it's true that the centrifugal brakes do not have any detection system, but workers can detect some anomalies at place. And additionally, the paint from the drum gets burned, so we can easily check that it has been actually braked.
Yeah, and yeah, I understand. So you can say it, but you need what you have to look at. And this is part of the training as well, because we have to include this in the familiarization as well. When you deliver a machine and say, look, these are the pre-use tests that you have to do. And one of the things that they should check is this, in case the centrifugal brake is on the machine. Angel, do you have...
Sorry, Romina, yes, I'd like to add something, because it's linked to what Agnès just said. And Keith Hancock made a very interesting comment. And he said that to advise that any Ipaf train operator is trained to stop and report when a machine is not functioning correctly. And Keith is absolutely right. And this is very important. And it's linked to what Agnès explained. A train operator is able to detect many malfunctions on the machine and then stop and report. And that's extremely important. In some of the accidents that happen, there's a number of reasons behind each accident, but some of them could be avoided if the operators are properly trained and are able to detect that something is going wrong in the machine, and of course, stop the machine and report. So this is something extremely important.
Yeah, I agree. Kevin, do you want to add from your experience anything on that?
No, I think I'd probably like to echo what's been said. You know, one of the most important aspects of this, when especially in a rental market, is duty of care. You know, if you have professional technical personnel who are keeping the unit in the condition that the manufacturer has requested, if they are paying attention to the safety systems, if you have trained operators who are on the job site, paying attention to the way the machine behaves, paying attention to daily inspection regimens. You know, we find in these kind of environments and circumstances that there are very, very few, if any, problems encountered on this equipment. But you know something, that's kind of the same with all access equipment. Any kind of powered access equipment requires that same level of diligence and duty of care. And that's where the training and the knowledge and the experience comes in. And I think that's where the industry, in terms of Ipaf and its training courses, becomes a very important kind of first foothold when it comes to duty of care for this product. If you've got a strong industry training and you've got a strong manufacturer behind you, it's unlikely that you will encounter many of these situations that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, right. And Ipaf is working continuously on that with our working group, and we are developing new courses. Recently, we developed the course for managers, so they will explain to supervisors, managers of job sites, how to deal with mast climbers and hoist, because many times these accidents happen because the manager has not really a full knowledge of the machine that he has in the job site. So we developed that course, and our activities are always, we have many activities ongoing also in developing new posters like ND access posters to explain specific issues that we see happening from our accident report. Good. I don't see, yeah, oh, there is another question perhaps. So there is a question from someone saying, do all the operators in the UK hold Ipaf cards or similar to SHU Pro for training? The answer is we don't know if everyone has an Ipaf card, but yes, most of them have an Ipaf card or another proof of training, because in the UK is very, very strict on this. What I say is the UK is an exception, because in other countries, unfortunately, it's not like that. Many operators, they go on the machine without having, perhaps they have a quick familiarization before jumping on it, but many of them, they didn't receive a proper training. We don't have more questions at the moment. The other questions have been answered online. So any other more comments, Angel, Agnès, or Kevin?
Maybe a quick. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask a question to Agnès, but I've been asked several times similar questions, and now this time is Mark Bennett asking about the more than a question, is like a comment. It would be interesting to do a test on a twin mast configuration. And the question for Agnès is: have you ever been asked by any manufacturer to do some kind of testing in your testing facilities, trying to simulate what happens when a machine is installed in a twin mast configuration, or is out of your scope and is supposed that has to be done by the manufacturer?
You're on mute, Agnès.
Yes, yes, sorry, I was in mute. So yes, we are able to do a test here in our facilities, of course.
And have you ever been asked by a manufacturer to simulate like a twin mast configuration, or is just on the manufacturer's hand to do it?
Yeah, in some occasions we face this situation.
Okay. Well, I mean, you have all contact details of Aegis, so if you have more technical questions, because really this is a very technical topic, and Agnès told us I can answer till a level, then we'll have to escalate to our technical department. So if there are more questions, she will be happy to answer offline. So I think that 5 minutes before the schedule, we can close this webinar. I want to thank again our speakers, to thank our sponsors, Alimac and Maber, and also to thank Ipaf staff who made this possible. I know that you worked hard in the backstage, so thank you very much. And until the next webinar, goodbye.